Welcome back to Questing Time. I'm your host, Paul Foxcroft, and this is Dungeons and Dragons, but with comedians, so it's loose. The party's in the middle of a combat, so I'll be brief. They're in the forest, trying to track down a missing baby owlbear, which they have found. The owlbear has been captured by a group of gnolls, 4 or 5 of them, in the woods, and the players are in the middle of a big fight with a bunch of these hulking hyena men. It's hard to say whether it's going well or not. The Reverend has been run through, Phillin's been shot a few times, and Claire's stuck in a cage on wheels rolling down a hill away from the fight, which there's a way of looking at that makes it sound like it's a good thing. Let's find out. It's not. We're back. Welcome. If you've just joined us, how? Welcome to Questing Time. We are mid-combat as the group of players who have yet to name their adventuring party. The crew with no name are in the middle of a fight with some gnolls. To recap, currently, the rough knight stands on the edge of a clearing, smashing the living shit out of a gnoll who is already terrified with a warhammer. The Reverend Jack Hardcore has been stabbed through the torso by an enormous hulking gnoll and is fighting him adjacent to the rough knight. Phillin Blanks is being surprisingly effective, although has 2 arrows sticking out of him, but has set fire to an entirely different gnoll. And Briony, you are currently in a cage that is rolling down a gentle incline away from this fight near a gnoll who's fallen over. That's pretty much where we're at. That's what's happening. We're back to the top of initiative, so that brings us to Matt, Phillin Blanks. It's Phillin's turn. You have seen everything I have described.
Yeah, I'm actually, even though I've been shot by this gnoll, my instinct still is, I'm so upset by what's happened to Mr. Hardcastle that my instinct is to help him. So I turn, so the arrows hit me, the momentum pushes me round, I see Hardcastle getting skewered, and I go, "You get off my Mr. Hardcastle, you big ugly thing that you are!" And I level 2 Chaos Bolt it towards its base.
Oh shit, just like Ripley. Okay.
Yeah, I'm spitting milk at the time.
All right, that's a level 2 spell, so I get to make a wild magic check. Yeah! Something random is going to happen, but let's find out what in a second. You're hitting Chaos Bolt at level 2.
Yeah, do you want to roll 2d8?
You roll at level 2, you roll 2d8, then... Hang on a second.
Oh, there they are.
Roll 2d8 and 2d6, but tell me what the numbers on the d8s are first.
Okay, I'm just looking for my d8s. Where are you? So you got a 6.
Yes.
While he's rolling, Paul,
and an 8.
Do I have a chance to correct Phillin's war cry?
You can use your reaction to correct him. Yes.
And on my 6s, double 6s.
Okay, so that's 12 plus another
Nazi,
6.
Sorry, can we just take a minute though? Just for the rolling.
Yeah.
Hang on. So it was 12 plus 6 plus 8 is 18. 26 damage, and you can choose whether that is thunder damage or poison damage.
Oh. It's with thunder affect Hardcastle.
No, it's a bolt. It's not like a range thing. So you've conjured this ball of ever shifting colours, fired it at the gnoll, and it resolves in midstream into a really good AC/DC song, which slams into this hulking gnoll for, I won't lie, a huge chunk of it hits of its hit points. Let me just do some sweet maths. And this thing bellows with rage. Is going to use its reaction to make an attack against you.
Oh, my trousers were kicking in.
Yeah. Your armor class, please.
13.
Shit. Have I just... What am I adding to this? Plus 5 is... No. Shit. 12. So this thing rips the spear out of Hardcastle and swings it towards you laterally, and you just lean back, and what it does is it cuts... Thanks for the donations! It cuts the tops off the arrows that are stuck in your chest, but you narrowly avoid being hit. And then everyone feels it, a surge of static in the area. Everyone smells lemons briefly, and some wild magic goes off, which is a D100 chart I've got on my notice board in case this ever happens. Where are we? Sorry. Look at the wrong card. That is interesting. Thanks for the sub. It's too loud in my earphones. Where are we? Oh, sorry. Let me roll this. Here it is. Right.
I love how people are just saying hard castle now, by the way.
that is correct.
It's so stuck.
Matt?
Yeah?
Would you do me a favour? Would you roll 2d10, please?
2d10, where's that?
Yes.
Honestly, tonight, a 9.
Yep.
Oh, and then a 3.
Cool. You immediately regain 12 hit points.
Ooh.
Wow.
And your character's hair, including his beard, grows a foot.
We've just gone Super Saiyan, Paul.
Yes. So there's like a sort of, as you're watching this, there's like a just like a jet of beard shoots out of your Phillin's face. And it is weirdly completely straight.
I like to think at this point.
Also, Phillin's hair is quite curly, but that's now at the end. So he's got a foot of very straight hair and then curly hair at the end of it.
As it happens, I like to think me and Ruff just hold each other's eyes for a little bit too long.
Phillin sees a glimmer of respect in my eyes that he's been craving for so long.
Also, Phillin is very aware of his armpit hair now being a foot long. His chest hair is now a foot long plus a bit, and all of his body hair is now minimum a foot plus its previous length.
And I've got no top on, so everyone's aware of it.
Yeah. Also, you're a halfling, so you do have foot long hair streaming out of the top of your feet.
The gnoll looks me in the eye as this happens, and I go, "Deal with it, motherfucker."
Because I'm worth it.
Sorry, Next up is Briony, and I should inform you that your cage is now picking up speed and about to leave the clearing into the underbrush.
Okay, can I still... Is the one that hurt Reverend Hardcore still alive?
Yes, it's some distance away, and you're rapidly moving away from it.
Yeah, but it's still within 60 feet.
Is it? Let me just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just.
Okay, then I'm going to use my level 2 Dissonant Whispers on it, because now my pearl is ready.
Nope, you cast a spell last turn instead of using your pearl.
Oh, so I have to do it... Oh, right.
And casting a spell is an action.
Oh. I still have one more level 1 spell slot, though, so while I can still see him, I'll do Dissonant Whispers at level 1.
Great. Where are we? Let me just look up your character sheet. There we are. Cool. I get to make a wisdom saving throw to resist this, and I need to beat. Not a great wisdom modifier. Shit! No, I haven't. I have not beat it.
So
roll your damage, please.
Wait, this
level
1 is 3d6.
Yeah.
4, 5. 4, 5, 6.
Sequential.
So that's 15. It took me a while when I got
15
there.
damage. Right. This
And
thing.
Can I say to him can I whisper to him, your first mistake was putting me in a cage. The second was spearing hardcore. You may have a group of 3 gnolls that work for you, but I have 3 friends.
I'd like to think after that's where you went, just to recap, and then you said it all again.
Yeah, and then I said, and I hope there isn't a steep hill behind me.
So, Briony, as you say that, 2 things happen. 1, you gain inspiration because that was rad. And 2, there is very much a steep hill behind you.
Oh no! What a great time to...
It was a great time for the blanket to fall down behind Rufus, revealing the text, under pressure. Which it seems like, I know there's more to that sign, but also it looks like a really depressing thing to have in your home from the tangle.
Hang on.
It was like one time I saw it was an ornament which should have read, it was text on a couple of pieces of wood that had been carved in. It should have read, and they lived happily ever after. But the bottom had fallen off, so it was just saying, and they lived, which is a really depressing end to a story. Anyway, so Briony, yes, your cage is now rolling quite rapidly down a hill away from this fight. Good luck. We'll get to that when we can. The gnoll in front of Richard and Matt howls with fear and rage, drops his spear, turns tail, and immediately runs into the deep forest. Both of you get to make a basic melee attack against that gnoll.
Oh, nice.
Also, I realised last turn, Richard, I forgot to roll for your spiritual weapon. Oh! Okay, we'll come to that in a second.
Okay, yeah.
Would I use my dagger for a basic melee, do you reckon?
Did you have it drawn? You're probably just able to punch him.
Oh, I'll just punch him on...
I'll let you use the dagger, because it's going to be... It seems appropriate. Let's do that.
Well, I rolled a 12, and... I can't remember what my dagger is. I think it's plus...
Go under actions, it'll say.
Yeah, everything's a bit...
I think it's plus... You're adding +3 for your... No,
I think so. Sorry, there's something really weird with... I'm going to just refresh D&D Beyond. The bottom of the screen is gone.
That's all right. You're rolling... Holy shit, you're rolling +5 to hit with your dagger, mate.
Oh, nice.
Pretty good with the dagger.
This is the best it's ever been.
Pretty good.
Yep.
So 15 plus 5 then.
15 plus 5. You've cut him, and your damage is 1d4 plus 3.
Yeah. Can I in my head, I try and cut his face, to remember me by, but because I'm so much shorter than him, it ends up his knee.
Sure.
To remember me by. His knee.
And next up, so Richard, you also get an attack of opportunity against the same guy.
Yeah. I've rolled 13.
In total?
As an attack, yeah.
That I'm afraid you've missed. Sorry, bud.
To be fair, this is Phillin's day, let's face it.
That's fair. It is now that gnoll's turn. So he's run 40 feet off into the woods. He stops, turns around, looks at you, Richard, looks at you, Phillin. When you see his eyes glow orange in the night, and he spits blood into the underbrush and darts off into the further into the woods. That will be his turn. He's double moving. In fact, he's double moving. He's going to move once and use his other action to hide.
Whilst you're rolling, I just turn to Hardcastle and go, I don't know if we'll see him again, Mr. Hardcastle.
Next up is Richard on initiative 13. Ruff is dealing with one of these guys. There's a bowman in the trees, and also one scrabbling after Claire's cage, which has rolled out of sight down a hill. What would you like to do?
Okay. So, first of all, how's my spiritual weapon getting on?
Oh, that's a good question. It's whacking away at the lock on the cage. It's making some progress, but the lock isn't off just yet.
Okay, fine.
Okay, I can make another roll actually for it. Oh. Okay, yeah. This turn it has smashed the lock off.
Okay. On this turn, so that means I can't cast another spell.
Spiritual weapon, I believe, is a concentration spell, so you can cast another spell. But if you cast another spell with a concentration quality, the spiritual weapon will end.
Okay, I'm gonna do command.
Sure. I will warn you that command requires the creature you are issuing a command to be able to comprehend you.
Yeah, I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna cast command and look meaningfully at the owl bear and say, "Fight."
Oh, hello. Sure. Okay.
Get him to run a Oh no! If you're just gonna let him do it, let him do it.
I only get one word.
Oh, it turns out Razor Wind is saying spiritual weapon isn't a concentration spell. I'll defer to you because I can't get the thing to load up on my computer just now. But okay, here's what happens. Richard, use your action this turn to encourage the owlbear to fight. You hear a sort of and a 2-foot tall owlbear waddles out of a cage and just attacks the prone gnoll next to it. It's a baby.
Oh God!
You were told it's a baby owlbear. Shit!
Anything. I enjoyed it.
It has, however, it's critted.
Though I be but small, I am mighty. Is in owlbear or she?
Okay. 8, 9, 10, 11.
It's a great day to be short.
Jesus Christ. So the gnoll that has fallen down in front of this, the owlbear, just because I'm just basically slightly nerfing a regular owlbear stats. I've rolled the most damage it could do, and then we're doubling it. The owlbear, the gnoll sort of looks up, and the owlbear is stood in front of it, backlit by the fire, and just tears into it. And you see the gnoll, Wile E. Coyote style, trying to claw itself away, and it's dragged back, leaving finger troughs in the ground. And the owlbear savagely, in one turn, executes that gnoll.
Yes, owlbear.
Well,
It's the baby Yoda of owlbears.
It is, in its own way, yes. Which means we're left with the gnoll in the woods. Richard, your armor class, please.
18.
And Matt, yours is 13, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
1 for you. Richard, yours is a natural 20. Good luck. And Matt, yours is 16. Both of these have hit. As this gnoll is firing off 2 arrows and also ducking away into the woodland on it with its move. Which one are you? You're the hunter. Longbow, 1d8 plus 2. So, Matt, your damage is 6.
Ah, not bad.
And Richard, your damage is plus 2, 12.
Very well.
As this one, do you know what? Fuck it. This one slams into your eye.
His good eye.
A bit of a health update for everybody. I have passed out.
Oh,
Sure
dear.
you have. So Hardcore takes an arrow directly to the head and just it picks him up off of his feet and slams him down in the underbrush. An arrow sticking out of his eye patch. Which leads us to, and that gnoll retreats into the woodland, which leads us to the gnoll that is currently being held by the Rough Knight, who is going to attempt to. Well, you've got his weapon arm. He's going to bite you. Your armor class, please.
14.
You are wearing spiked armor.
I am.
Okay, I hadn't factored that in. But that is a hit. So it is 4 plus 2. 6 damage, but he also takes 4 damage from this attack. So this guy, as he's writhing around trying to free his sword arm, brings his teeth down on your shoulder, cutting himself as he does it. But you can feel his teeth bite into your neck, drawing blood, cutting viscera and whatnot. But it is now your turn.
I mean, I've basically got this thing spikes on my shoulder. I'm obviously just going to try and smash it more with my axe.
Seems entirely reasonable.
I mean, what else would you do, right?
Oh, 100%. I'm on board. I agree.
Do I have anything that changes that? What I just rolled?
Inspiration.
You have inspiration. Briony, I would argue you're out of line of sight at the minute. So you can't give him bardic inspiration, but you already have initiative. You already have inspiration in your back pocket, Rufus, from a previous show. I will allow you to use it as a reroll. rather than declaring it ahead of time.
Yeah, do it.
All right,
I'm feeling mercurial.
And I'm filling blanks.
I rolled less with the second roll.
What was your total?
11.
11. Cool. So you're flailing around trying to get an angle on this guy because you're holding his arm. He's bitten onto your shoulder, but you cannot get the leverage to hit him. You're just flailing around. He's flailing around, both trying to hit each other like some kind of terrible stab-based tango.
Yeah.
And you're staggering into the main area of the camp. The lighting is much brighter here, but you're screaming incoherently at him. He's screaming incoherently at you, albeit with a mouthful of blood and teeth. And then we're back to the top of the initiative. Matt.
Sorry, Paul?
Yes.
Is biting damage piercing damage?
Yes, it would be. So you take half of that.
I only take half. It's all right. It's fine. I'll just I'll take 3 damage, not 6.
Not 6. Great. Matt, your turn.
Yep. Can I use a free move to get some of the grease on my body and just slick all the new hair back? Just so I look cool.
You absolutely may. For those of you new to the stream, Matt's halfling almost always casts grease on himself first thing in the morning for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
You know what? It's never failed us. I'm going to use one of the potions of healing that we got last week.
Yeah.
So I think I've got all the potions from last week, and I'm gonna put that down Mr. Hardcastle's neck, and I'm gonna I look at his body on the ground. I see the arrow in him, and I actually think of the worst, but hope's keeping me through. And I cradle his head in my arm. I go, I'm not ready for you to leave yet, Mr. Hardcastle. There's so much you haven't taught me yet, and you know what? I couldn't bear the weight and the pain of your passing, and I would miss your beautiful eye. And then I just start gulping it down, but I'm still talking. I go, and the things that you taught me, like, I don't know why you always smell a poo, but sometimes you do, and I don't know if that's you or my dreams, and I would like to know. And you know what? We've never really had a drink, even though we know each other. I know we've been out for drinks, but we've never really had it. And I assume about this time he starts coming round.
Yep, Richard, you have healed. It's supposed to be greater healing, isn't it? That's 4d4. So, Richard, you've healed 4. That's 4. Maths, you've healed maths. Yeah. Richard, you've healed 16 hit points from that roll. Right, back up to 16.
Thank you.
And you wake up to find a halfling jamming a potion bottle into your mouth and just rambling incoherently about your own social life. Matt, that will take up your turn. Briony.
Yes.
You are now approaching. You're now getting up some speed as this cage you're in is now bouncing its way down a hillside in the dark, smashing through small trees. There's leaves and stuff all over you. There's bugs, there's some moths in there. You're just crashing through tree after tree after tree, and you are picking up bush after bush. There's a couple of trees. There's snaps, crackles that you're being tossed around inside the cage. It isn't rolling over yet, but it is rapidly descending down this hillside. Would you please make a dexterity save to try and hold on and not be injured by all the bouncing around?
Uh-oh. Not real well. Dexterity is +4. That makes it all of 8.
8. Uh-oh. Please take 10 bludgeoning damage as you are smashed into the bars, left and then right and then left again. And you are now at disadvantage for performing any substantive task in this.
Okay.
You can't right yourself.
Is the cage door, has it come loose at all?
No, it has not. Also, don't forget, your hands are still bound.
Yeah. That's probably why I'm not using my I'm trying to think if there's any because I've run out of spell slots. I might as well. Can I do the pearl thing as well as do acrobatics in the same move, or no?
What do you want to do with your acrobatics? If it's as part of a move, then yes.
Okay, so how strong am I? Because I just imagine if it's getting knocked about, I can kick through the cage. No.
You can try and maybe kick you can kick through the cage. Yeah, there's loads of gaps. It's a cage.
No, but I'm going to kick the door open.
You could attempt.
Oh, maybe
D20 future show has just said things are going downhill for Claire. What you could try and do, I'll let you make basically a straight up strength roll to try and break the lock off of the door from the inside. But I won't lie, the cage is very much designed to prevent precisely that from happening.
Okay, but I'm going to add in, forget the pearl thing, I'm going to add in my thaumaturgy to cause an unlocked window or door to fly open, to use that at the same time I'm kicking, to hope that the two combined.
This is very much, this is aggressively a locked door. I mean, you can do it, it's just like, the very definition of the spell is different things.
Oh, then forget all of that. I just try and do acrobatics at the same direction as the cage is rolling, so that it feels.
Want to gyroscope yourself? Okay, sure. Make an acrobatics check. You don't roll as a disadvantage. Just roll it normally.
Okay.
You're like a person in a lift trying to jump just before it hits the bottom.
15. Yeah, that's what 15. I'm doing.
Yeah. Okay. You turn this into an awful wood and metal zorb. Right, you basically brace yourself. You grab one of the bars of the cage on this side, one of the bars on that side, and brace yourself with your legs, like Da Vinci's. I can't think what that piece of
Vitruvian Man.
The Vitruvian Man. And you are shifting your weight every time this thing rocks, and thereby will not take damage from this the next couple of turns, unless, of course, it stops abruptly, in which case you will. But you are, to an extent. Do you have dark vision?
Yes.
Then you are, to an extent, able to steer it a little bit away from larger rocks or trees, as you see. With bound hands, says Cowhome.
Oh, yeah, I do have that.
Do you know what? That rope was good enough, and the rope was specifically quite badly tied. I'm going to let you slip one of your hands out of this, because I like this image. I think it's funnier.
The Zorb.
Yes, as you have a metal Zorb, which, of course, was an early stage of the Zorb testing phase. Was immediately cancelled because of the obvious dangers with it. So that's happening. The rest of you can hear now clangs and thuds and the snapping of wood as Claire's cage has rolled clear out of sight, but you can hear very much bad noises. And I imagine shouts?
Yeah.
Richard, it is your turn.
Okay, who's left?
It's the gnoll who is fighting with Ruff. The bigger one has scarpered into the forest, and the one with the bow has also. You can't see that one anymore either.
Okay. Well, first of all, I wake up startled, obviously, and look at Phillin as if to be like, "Thank you," but I also won't. This isn't the time to be arranging a date to have a proper beer with you. And then I guess I'll turn to Rough Knight and like my spiritual weapon is still going, so I guess I would like channel the energy at that gnoll now.
Sure.
And can I swing with my warhammer as well?
You can. You're prone, but you've got Phil in there, so I'll let you get up as a free action.
Okay.
So you can wade in to this one that is being attacked by Ruff. You can have advantage on that attack roll because it's very much distracted by Ruff. And so you send your spiritual weapon at it as well. Okay. Roll your attack, please.
I got 17.
That's a hit. The spiritual weapon's hit as well. Roll your damage.
4.
4. Thanks, Plebeian Rob, but I've already made that ruling. We cool. 4 damage in total.
Yeah, it's rubbish.
Spiritual weapons come in with 8. So what happens is, Rufus, you see this from a particularly great perspective. The gnoll rears back, you're spinning it around, still trying to hit it, it's trying to hit you. And then either side of its head, one side of its head is hit with a luminous spectral warhammer. The other side is hit with a very matte, normal warhammer. And what happens is, it's still alive, but it just like a clunk, and one of its eyes bursts out of its socket, and just flies towards your face. And
give it the eye patch.
Can I take off my own eye patch and put it on the gnoll?
Can I roll to see whether I can catch the eyeball?
Yes, both of your hands are engaged.
Catch it with your mouth.
Both of my hands engaged. I've got his weapon up there.
Yeah, and you've got your weapon. You can catch it in your mouth.
I'm going to try and catch it in my mouth.
Yeah, sure. I'm not even going to make you roll. I'm just going to let that happen.
Okay, I catch the eye in my mouth.
Jesus. Great, that happens. You know what, Rufus? Make an absolutely free intimidation check at advantage for eating this thing's eye in front of it.
Oh,
Which turns out I'm not okay with. Like, I didn't know this about myself, but it's made me very uncomfortable.
19.
Holy shit! This thing, just all the fight goes out of it. Like, it's very badly injured. It just goes limp in your hand. It drops its weapons like, and it starts muttering something in this guttural tongue that you do not understand. Like, you've still got it by one hand.
Yeah.
But it's dropped to the floor effectively. It's basically limp. It's looking up at you. You can't tell whether it's pleading with you or threatening you. This language is incomprehensible. Rufus, it is your turn. Bring it home.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. With everything you've just described, with its eye in my mouth,
yeah,
I'm going to, because it's dropped to the floor, I'm going to jump with my boots of jumping.
Yes.
And basically somersault onto its back in my spiked armor. So I'm basically, it drops to the floor, and I just like barrel on top of it, and land spikes down.
Before you do, Rufus,
yeah.
I've watched wrestling since I was a kid. You would announce this with something that will be forever the thing you announce this move with.
Okay.
Like people's elbow or.
Yeah. I'm calling this acupuncture, but punk is spelled P-U-N-K.
Lovely. So what we see is this. We see the rough knight hold this gnoll, let go of its arm, flex, and just go, because obviously he's got an eyeball in his mouth. And then just do a forward flip, landing backwards, elbows down onto the gnoll.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, sure. I mean, there's no point rolling damage. It's got 2 hit points left. You can't roll lower than 2 hit points. This gnoll, with you hear it scream, tear through your eardrums. And sure enough, it is limp and dead. And Rufus, you have a hard time getting up because of all the spikes in it, but with the help of the rest of the group, you manage it. Meanwhile, Claire, you are continuing to crash down this hillside.
Okay.
Would you make a dexterity check, please, Briony, to avoid a obstacle?
Ooh, 13 plus, hold on, what's my dexterity? 4. 17.
Great. Good news here is you see just like a rocky outcropping ahead of you, and you left or right?
Left. To the left. We have been dealing with Beyonce gnolls.
We have been dealing with Beyonce dolls. So you jerk this thing to the left, and almost you don't quite miss the entire outcropping. You avoid slamming into it, but you do take out the right-hand wheel. So at this point, the cage spirals end over end. You manage to keep yourself roughly in the middle of it, spirals end over end, smashing through higher bits of tree. One of the wheels just flies off, and it lands in a crumpled heap. Very much on the edge of a precipice. Teetering slightly in the wind.
Briony.
Meanwhile, oh no, Matt, you don't get to talk to Briony just now. Meanwhile, back at the campfire.
Well, things have worked out very well indeed.
I had a thing that I was going to do, and I'll pretend I don't know the danger. And if you guys want it, I was going to work as a team.
Well, my thing is, Matt, like, keep hold of the idea, but you guys are now significantly far away from Briony. You certainly don't have line of sight to her.
Well, this is what I was going to do. Let me know, team. I was going to shout to Hardcastle. I was going to go, Mr. Hardcastle, shield! And I was going to run and think you guys would instinctively know. And the plan was to jump onto Hardcastle's shield, rough boost me as I go past, and sail after Claire.
I don't know that anyone would have understood that prompt, but
we're in sync today.
Also, what I love about this was like it would buy you maybe 10 seconds worth of running time. Like, it's such a... So, all right, let's say this happens. Richard, honestly, what do you think Mr. Hardcore's reaction would be to Mr. Hardcastle's shield? Quick, response, quick.
He would just hold it up and say, "It's hardcore."
Matt, you run directly. Hardcastle shields. You run directly at Hardcore and jump as Hargo looks at you perplexed. You jump directly into Hardcore's shield with a punk, and fall on your butt. Take 1 damage.
I look up at Hardcastle and go, "Did I get to her in time, Mr. Hardcastle? Did I?"
I put Phillin over my shoulder again, and we start walking after Claire.
Walking. Brilliant.
Running.
No, you were clear. Meanwhile, we cut back to Briony.
Yeah.
You are very aware. So this cage is now upside down.
Right.
It is warped. And, but like you are stuck in it. Ahead of you is a precipitous drop into a valley. Like, not like huge. It's not like the end of Mission Impossible Fallout, but it's like a good 60 odd feet. It would hurt, and also you are in a cage, which isn't going to help with this. It is teetering a little bit in the wind, but for the time being, it seems like it's relatively safe. Hang on a second. Wait, 1 second. 10, cool. So every turn, I roll a d20 and add it to a total. When it gets to 50, the goose turns up.
Huh?
Oh no! Oh no!
So, Paul, can I just edge towards whichever side of the cage is furthest from the cliff edge?
Furthest from the drop. You can.
Having gravity help.
Yes, make a. Do you know what? I think this is actually appropriate. Moving steadily and slowly, I think, would constitute as a stealth roll. So make a stealth roll to move slightly further away from the edge.
11.
Okay, cool. You don't get very far because you are moving very slowly and very tentatively.
And during
you
this,
are able to inch your way away from the cliff edge.
During this, can I do the pearl thing? Because it's just
you absolutely can. Yes, it doesn't.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet. So because I've got no spells to get out of this cage.
Cool. Yeah, you can. Do you want to try another one to get as far away from the edge as you possibly can?
As far away from the edge as I possibly can.
Yep.
Like what? Try another. Like another what?
Another stealth check.
Oh yeah, please.
Cool.
Does this mean you're rolling for me to pull over every time I do it?
No, I'm rolling to see when the goose arrives and lands on the far end of the cage.
Oh no!
That's a 20. That's a 20.
Oh no! I am. What is it? What am I doing? Stealth. 14 plus 4. 18.
18. Great. Okay. Right. You are now backed up against the furthest edge of the cage.
Okay.
Right. You can see up ahead this trail of absolute destruction you've wrought down the hillside. You can see, like, quite a distance away, like a couple of 100 feet, backlit by the campfire, hardcore, Phillin, and presumably Ruff. I assume running at full tilt down the hillside, but there's still a good, I would guess, 30, 40 seconds away.
Okay, so
we're kind of doing this in 6-second increments.
Has my pearl thing worked yet? Do I have any? Okay,
you have a second level spell. You have a first or second level spell slot back.
Oh, great. So, I think I want. This may be a mistake.
I'm so tense right now, by the way.
Yeah.
I think the only spell I have that can help me open a cage that is locked, because I can only open an unlocked door with thaumaturgy, is Thunderwave. But that might be a bit extreme.
Metal! Metal!
It won't lie. Right, so here's the thing. Every time I roll this d20, I'm adding a number to a thing. I'm up to 45 on 50. A goose lands on the other side of the cage.
Thunderwave.
Great. So, are you going? Have you got any level 1 slots left? I don't think you do.
No, I just used the pearl because you said I had the pearl now.
But do you have a level 2 slot or a level 1 slot?
I have a level 2. Well, the pearl works for either, isn't it?
Yes. So which one do you want?
I'm going to go full out. I'm scared.
You cast Thunderwave as a level 2 spell.
Yeah.
Lovely. Right. So pause for a second. So what you three can see as you are running down the hillside, because it's quite clearly picked out in what is clear moonlight, is you see this thing teetering on the edge. You see Claire inside it contemplating this pearl and the sort of mystical aura around it flowing into her. You see behind her in the night sky, just perfectly picked out in the moonlight against the dark background, the form of a goose honking its way ominously towards this perch. You see her start to conjure the energy for a spell. Are you shouting anything?
Yeah.
Can I see the goose?
You are presumably looking at the doors.
Okay, well, whether I see the goose or not, I know what I'm going to shout. It's just one word.
What is it?
Honk!
Appropriate. Richard, Matt, and Rufus, are you going to shout any word of warning towards her?
No, but I'm gonna
You shout unhelpfully.
I'm gonna turn to the other two lads and go, hold on, lads, I've got an idea.
Briony, please roll. You don't have to hit anything with Thunderwave. Please roll the damage for Thunderwave.
Which is 3d8, isn't it?
It is 3d8.
Okay.
How far away are we, Paul?
At this point, I would say, assuming you're running flat out, I'd say you're probably now like 100 foot away.
I only rolled 9 on 3d8.
Would you like to use your inspiration to reroll
Yes.
damage?
Yes, please.
I will allow this because I've just rolled a 17. So we're now at, on the goose meter,
3, 6, and 8. 8, 6, and 3. What is that, Rich?
17.
Don't ask me.
Okay. So look, here's what happens. 3 things happen simultaneously. 1, you 3 gentlemen are running full pelt, like skidding down this hillside. You are just about at the point where you would be able to maybe jump and grab to help her. The goose lands on the back of the cage, tipping it up. The thunder wave shatters the back of the cage open, but it also happens just as you lose your footing, Briony. So you jump, the cage tilts back and falls down, the goose takes off like a prick. Richard, Matt, and Rufus, I want each of you to make dexterity rolls right now.
Come on, Green.
Bardic inspiration.
Which of the 3 would you like to give Bardic inspiration to, Briony? How many inspirations have you got left?
Hold on, let me see. Oh, it's on my actions, isn't it?
It is. I can tell you right now, you've got 2. You've got 2 left.
I've got 2. So I'm going to assume that Ruff's going to be fine without it. Phillin and Reverend Jack need my help.
So Phillin and Jack, you get to add a d6 to the roll you just rolled.
Oh, well, I am flying then. Yeah.
Matt, what did you get?
I rolled a 19. My dexterity is +3, so that's 22. And then I rolled a 4, so that's 26.
Incredible. Richard, what did you roll?
So here's the thing, Paul.
Yeah.
I rolled a natural 1.
We'll come back to you in a second, Richard. And Rufus, what did you roll?
I rolled. I've already forgotten what my modifier is. Clever. I rolled a 7.
7. Okay. So in slow motion, I want everyone to picture this. The cage falls away. Claire leaps to grab the edge of this ledge and just misses. And as she does, Phillin's hand enters the shot from the top and grabs Claire, his other hand hanging on to the top of the cliff, and he's dangling there like that. The rough knight dives and lands face down on the cliff, but manages to crawl over and grab Phillin. Hardcore, however, goes, "No!" and just jumps off of the cliff.
I want to help Hardcore. Can I grab him?
Make a dexterity saving throw, Briony.
Hardcore, grab my excess hair.
Richard, you can make another dex save. Would you like to use your inspiration from earlier on this roll?
17.
Oh my god, yes, of course.
What's dexterity? 21.
Rich, make your roll.
15.
15. Great. Okay, both of those work. Richard, in your free hand, you grab Phillin's foot hair in one hand, and your other hand is grabbed by Claire's free hand. So right now, the entire party is hanging off the edge of a ledge.
Hang on, wait, Paul. My spikes are digging in the ground, and I'm reaching over the edge of this cliff, holding Phillin's hand, who's holding Claire, who's also being held up by a combination of Phillin's foot hair and Claire.
Fucking hell! There was a genuine risk one of you was going to die there, because that is a 76 fall. And you know what? we promised. I talked to you guys earlier on about doing a slightly shorter stream because I'm wiped,
No!
but I 100% cannot resist ending on a literal cliffhanger. That's it. That's episode 8, and we ended on a cliffhanger, an actual cliffhanger, which couldn't have made me happier at the time. So yeah, the whole party is hanging over the edge of a cliff. We'll find out what happens to them in short order, and this is only a 2-part episode as well. Usually these shows run to about 3 hours and change. That's entirely because the night before we recorded episode 8, I had hosted the first Comic Relief Plays Dungeons and Dragons game with Nish Kumar, Sue Perkins, Sarah Pascoe, and Ed Gamble. But that had made me very tired, and but yeah, that was just, I was super out of it. You can still watch that show, by the way, on D&D's YouTube channel or on Comic Relief's, but not on ours because of how rights work. We'll pop a link into the description. That's our show. Join us soon for episode 9. Please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed the channel so far, and we'll see you in a couple of days with more of this stuff.